Think of Las Vegas, and you likely picture an artificial oasis rising out of the desert sand, a neon empire willed into existence by outlaws. To millions of tourists, this hyper-illuminated corridor is the entire story of southern Nevada. While glowing resorts generate billions, they require massive labor. Behind the entertainment district, a functioning city had to be constructed to keep the lights on. The world-famous skyline acts as a brilliant distraction, hiding the actual infrastructure of the valley and obscuring the people who truly built it. Just a few miles away from the extreme wealth of the Strip lies the historic Westside. For decades, strict segregation policies systematically shut Black residents out of the city's primary economic engines. This intentional exclusion created a severe vacuum. The Westside was left completely isolated, denied access to municipal healthcare, public libraries, and reliable food sources. Faced with total institutional neglect, an extraordinary group of African American women stepped into that void. They looked at a community intentionally left behind and constructed a society from the ground up. Before a marginalized neighborhood can establish an independent economy, it has to secure basic survival systems. In the early 1970s, activist Ruby Duncan mobilized hundreds of low-income mothers to protest the cutting of state aid. Duncan weaponized the city's need for positive visibility. She led marches directly down Las Vegas Boulevard, effectively shutting down the entrances to major casinos to force local leaders to pay attention. This street map of the historic Westside shows the stark reality of the empty, blank neighborhood blocks at the time. To fix this, Duncan pivoted from protest to structural development. She founded Operation Life, bringing a medical clinic, a community library, a daycare center, and a food cooperative directly into the area. In a matter of years, her single organization replaced government neglect with total neighborhood self-reliance. Securing reliable long-term access to meals required equally determined leadership, spearheaded by Bessie Braggs. Braggs took the helm at the Community Food Bank of Southern Nevada. For over 20 years, she guided the organization, ensuring it operated as an indispensable lifeline for low-income families and seniors across the valley. By establishing these networks, Duncan and Braggs bypassed systemic barriers and created the critical social infrastructure necessary to keep their community alive. With life support systems actively functioning, the next generation of women in the Westside targeted economic ownership. Angela Tatum Speller started out working for the local postal service, using her federal employment stability to master the complexities of localized logistics. She then applied those organizational skills to the private sector, breaking through local hospitality ceilings by opening premier, Black-owned banquet venues dedicated to hosting massive community celebrations. Meanwhile, Kimberly Bailey Tarrod focused on building a self-sustaining local economy from within. This grid visualizes the massive scale of her impact. Over 15 years, Tarrod personally guided the formation of over 932 minority-owned microbusinesses throughout southern Nevada. The push for economic independence eventually reached into Nevada's most heavily guarded sector, the gaming industry. That effort was led by Sarann Knight-Preddy. Knight-Preddy secured a historic milestone as the first woman of color to receive a Nevada gaming license. Decades later, she acquired the historic Moulin Rouge property, ensuring a vital piece of integrated civil rights history was protected from demolition. Through catering venues, small business development, and casino ownership, these entrepreneurs systematically dismantled the economic exclusion that the Strip relied on, forcing the entire valley to recognize Black financial power. Generational momentum shifted from building independent economies toward securing the valley's highest institutional seats. In May 2002, Judge Karen Bennett Herron achieved a major political milestone, becoming the first African-American woman appointed to any level of the Nevada judiciary. She spent more than 2 decades on the bench, using her position to prioritize civil equity, expand equal access to the legal system, and spearhead juvenile justice reform. That drive for institutional leadership continued into municipal government, culminating when Pamela Goynes-Brown was elected as Nevada's first Black mayor. Before taking office to drive municipal progress in North Las Vegas, she spent 35 years deeply rooted in the community as a dedicated music educator and school administrator. The women of the Westside evolved from surviving a rigged system from the outside to actively running and reforming it from the inside. Building a community is one phase of leadership. Another is ensuring that history is not forgotten or overwritten by the dominant culture. Cultural preservationist Gwen Walker dedicated her life to personally collecting thousands of artifacts, fine art pieces, and documents tracing the African diaspora in Las Vegas. By founding the Walker African American Museum, she ensured the accurate historical timeline of the Westside remains intact, providing an educational baseline for future generations. Community matriarch China Hudson breathes life into this legacy in real time, preserving African cultural traditions through dance, education, and mentorship to strengthen local pride. This cultural preservation acts as a vital defense, protecting the community's true narrative against the myth of the neon oasis. The modern landscape of Southern Nevada is the direct result of these generations of pioneers, educators, and activists. Their true, enduring legacy lives on in the municipal laws they uphold, the businesses they fostered, and the families they protected. History is not solely written by those with the most wealth. The real Las Vegas was built by the Trailblazers of the Westside.